I've got some very cool exclusive Star Wars Outlaws gameplay footage to share with you right now. This is the second bit of exclusive gameplay I've broken down, so if you want to check out the first bit, head over to my channel. But right now, I'm going to step-by-step break down the gameplay we've been shown, as well as give some theories on certain gameplay elements. I was lucky enough to get access to these videos because of Ubisoft, so shout out to them for giving me this gameplay to put these videos together for you guys. We're on to the second bout of gameplay, so let's get into it. So let's get into this gameplay. This gameplay is Kay exploring an ancient High Republic cruiser in search of a new nav computer. Due to the Trailblazer being in shambles, Kay has navigated the black market to try and retrieve spare parts for the ship. She found a lead that a compatible nav computer is stowed on the ancient High Republic shipwreck where her skills will be put to the test. So let's get into it. First thing I noticed in this gameplay is just how stunning the world looks here. This is going to be a repeated thing throughout its scenes for all of the gameplay. They just did such a good job. During this conversation that Kay has with Waka, on the right we see some sort of what looks to be scrap material that we can pick up or have Nyx pick up. There are a few of these we see along our trail throughout this gameplay, and I'm wondering if all of these are credits of some sort like we see her pick up later, or if they're materials for upgrading weapons or other things. Here we also get to see Kay's grapple hook in action. We see how it allows us to ascend down specific points, as well as here to swing across a chasm at specified points. This parkour feels very familiar to me as someone who loves the Jedi games. Very typical seeming parkour mechanics, although it seems you can better guide Kay through these areas by clicking the button while the indicator is above the specified area you want to go. Well, the Jedi games are a lot more freeform. I love the way that her flashlight looks here, and here we get to see her interact with a box that gives her, quote, old galactic credits. I wonder if we'll be able to trade these or exchange them for common currency. I'm really curious how currency is going to work in this game, since we're going to so many different places and so many different planets. Now another look at Nyx's scan power and how it allows us to better see the puzzle we need to shoot with the ion attachment on our blaster. I think having these kinds of mini puzzles to get around helps keep the gameplay vibes of exploration in areas like this, where you're just kind of walking through passageways and parkouring around. I also really like the fact that Nyx walks next to Kay and doesn't sit on her shoulder like a BD-1-esque companion. It makes Nyx feel like their own entity in a way, which I know is what they were going for, but I really love the vibe it gets, allowing Nyx to kind of traverse on their own. While we don't see her doing it, coming towards this railing, there is a prompt to push A, and I'm wondering if this is a lookout type area, or if we could literally vault Kay over this railing into the abyss, or perhaps it's just to hold on to the railing as maybe some way of hiding, but I thought this was very interesting. I really like Waka as a character so far. He adds a cool sassiness to Kay's more seemingly optimistic outlook on everything, and he's just a vibe. Here we get more of a look at how the parkour will run, and there's not much to say other than it just feels very straightforward, and I really appreciate that. Clunky parkour or hard to understand where you're going to be jumping or what you're going to be doing parkour can be very frustrating as a gamer, and I know I've had my run in with multiple games where it's like hard to tell where your character's going to jump next. So I'm glad this one is very straightforward. In this part specifically, there are so many cool sounds. From the way that the ladder falls down, to the noise that the reactor makes when you turn it on, to the electricity noise when you turn on more stuff. Whomever is in charge of the sound design here, kudos to you. I love how cool all the greebles look on this ship. All the little buttons, it just screams Star Wars to me. To see all the random levers and flashing buttons and things that you can mess with. You know, the whimsy is very much felt here in this small little broken down ship area, and I really appreciate that. It's just so fun. So just shout out to the cool little buttons and levers and all the things that were put here. I really love getting to see Nyx in action here, like making him blow up this canister, which looks like you can time to explode right when you need it. I also love that this apparently makes Nyx happy. We got an achievement that says make Nyx happy, and I think We all want to make Nyx happy. Here we see how the smoke from either one of these canisters or your smoke grenade will work in hiding you from enemies. It seems like if you're in the smoke, you're practically invisible until the smoke dissipates, which I think is really cool. That will really add a cool element to stealth. I also like that Nyx kicking this guy in the head makes him happy too. Nyx just loves chaos. Now on to some cutscene fun. These look so good to me already. We were informed that because it's still a work in progress, reminder, all of this gameplay that we've seen so far is a work in progress. It's not finalized yet. That it's possible that some of the mouths won't perfectly fit the dialogue yet, but at least here I think these look pretty good. This sequence looks really cool, and I love these kinds of running segments that help push the urgency of the situation, showing us more about jumping and running and all the things that we can do. And finally, we get to see what I assume is Kay's introduction to ND-5, the droid that stole the internet's heart and minds.
Who are you?
Run. I said, run.
And then they make me really sad because we get to jump on the speeder bike and then it cuts, so we don't get to see what happens. I freaking love the speeder bike gameplay. I'm glad we got more of it at Ubisoft Forward. But I think this segment did a really good job of showing us how the parkour is going to work, as well as more of the general vibe of the game. Grappling, looting, and thieving is the name of the game, and this showed us a lot of that. I'm so curious about the little things you can pick up. Like, it added so many more questions, but also answered some things. But there you go. A nice run through of a lot of the cool stuff we got to see in this gameplay. We have one more piece of exclusive gameplay to get to. I will be uploading that video tomorrow, so look out for it. This video is a lot simpler than the last one I did because I felt like I covered so much, especially like the HUD and the mechanics got covered in the last video, so I didn't want to repeat those. So if you're interested in a breakdown of more of those kinds of things, feel free to check out my last one I did because I felt like I covered so much, especially like the HUD and the mechanics got covered in the last video, so I didn't want to repeat those. So if you're interested in a breakdown of more of those kinds of things, feel free to check out my last video. But that being said, let me know in the comments what your favorite part of this gameplay was. And as always, may the Force be with you. Goodbye! And as always, thanks for watching. May the Force be with you. Goodbye!